Capitalizing on the then enigmatic fame of lead actress and celebrity socialite Paris Hilton, this $9 million gross-out rom-com was released nationwide in February of 2008, where it pulled in a pathetic $1.5 million in proceeds. Directed by Tom Putnam, the PG-13 rated story follows Joel David Moore as a hapless loser who travels to Santa Monica, California to reconnect with his elementary school crush, but is disheartened to discover he must find a date for her hideous best friend first. Step by Step's Christine Lakin plays the naughty character, whose physical issues are entirely superficial, and as the plot rolls on, we find out just how easily correctable they all were. She poignantly laments on her lonely existence by remarking, "Knowing what you are is also knowing what you're not." While I hesitate to call Hilton an actress, her performance here does what it needs to, and remains somewhat realistic, especially when she's required to bat an eyelash or two. The girl knows how to play the town flirt like nobody else. Ultimately though, the entire premise of this stupid 91-minute plot fails to work for one simple reason. Lakin is a more attractive woman than Hilton any day of the week. For a movie that literally rests on the attractiveness of its star, it's an unforgivable misstep. But despite the ridiculous, shallow, and misogynistic conditions of the plot, the narrative is actually well-structured and decently paced.
And I gotta tell you, I am sickened by the fact that none of these narrow-minded assholes can see how beautiful she is, you know, just because they can't get past a few infected toenails and some bacne, you know?
I know. I feel the same way.
Yeah? And I think that I have found the perfect guy for her.
What's his name?
His name is Cole Slauson. Cole Slauson, a good friend.
Playing out like one long and broken Mad TV sketch, the film is nothing more than one pathetic and predictable gross-out trope after another. When one of Lakin's infected toenails chips off and lands in some poor guy's mouth, the reaction induced is more of a gag reflex than laughter. Which is why I'm embarrassed to report I actually did chuckle once or twice during this otherwise repugnant film. The ending of the movie is particularly trite, with dialogue even telegraphing its own cliched ending. Beauty is only skin deep is obviously the film's primary message, but it abandons the core principle of this concept by giving Lakin a physical makeover before film's end, completely diminishing any impact this shameless movie could have had. The traditional cinematography makes good use of its Pacific Coast locale, while David E. Russo's score is relatively unnoticeable. Although it often hovers near the #1 spot on IMDb's notorious bottom 100 list, the picture is far from awful, feeling almost sweet at times. Had it not been for a few big mistakes and a stronger cast, the film might have just been forgotten in a sea of mediocrity, instead of being vilified for its unpopular leading lady. And while it may be better than its reputation, that's not saying much, and the movie is best if avoided. The Hottie and the Nottie. Distasteful premise, boring and predictable. Here are some YouTube comments with your thoughts on the picture. Our scores now on the Rate-O-Matic, a 2 and a 3. You criticized the film for being degrading and mean-spirited, but admitted it wasn't totally terrible. You rated it a bad. For a film that is reportedly one of the worst of all time, I went into this picture with extremely low expectations, and left feeling almost robbed. The movie is dumb, insulting, and unfunny, but never unwatchably so. I thought it was lame.